Okay, hi everybody. Everybody get enough to eat?
Oh yes, delicious.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm a soup woman, so if you come to the workshops in the winter, you guarantee you're going to get soup. Oh, thanks. You know, I've been looking for a recipe. I don't have my grandma's recipe, but I've been looking for one that just uses very little flour and more cornmeal, and I found that one. So, you know, it's kind of rougher. It's not that light. You know,
That's what I like about it.
I know,
Yeah,
me
I
too.
like that texture.
Yeah, so you like the lower sugar. No, we're going to fill them up. Yeah. Okay, so this elderberry, oh, I need somebody's recipe because we're going to make small batches. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So 14 times 4, this makes 3 cups. So we're going to have half a cup in those.
Where's your nephew?
Where's my nephew? I have no idea. I'm just going to make a bunch. Okay. Well, it gets so crazy. Seriously, you have to be algebraic. It's algebra. If 2/3, this is what I was doing. If 2/3 cup of elderberries gets 3.5 cups water, and I want to make medicine 4 ounces for 40 people, how much do I have to make?
Well, how much does that make?
Because then that cooks down, and this recipe makes 3 cups, right? And I want to make, anyway, I was doing all this.
There's 8 ounces per cup.
Right, and everybody's getting 4 ounces.
So
I was planning for 40 people. Right, a half a cup. Yeah, I didn't bring the paper, Nancy, but anyway, I already did that one. But now it's like if I want to make medicine and make sure everybody here gets 1 bottle of 4 ounces, that's going to be about what?
160.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cups or so. 8 cups. So let's triple this. I'm gonna give us a little leftover. Okay, we'll triple this. Okay, so I want to talk about the process. Elderberry is one of the strongest, most wonderful plants that we have, but it's poison. You can't just grab an elderberry and eat it. You'll get really sick. It's really strong tannins, and it'll just do a number on your belly, and you don't see birds on them. They are very tannic, very, very, very strong and tannic. But the medicine in them is incredible. It's the most incredible antioxidant, besides huckleberries and all these other berries, but it's one of them. And the reason I love it is because it's so common. If you know what it looks like, you walk around in your neighborhood. I picked it in my neighborhood. I made my first syrup of this fall. Haven't gotten the flu yet either. No cold, no flu.
So with it being poisonous, do you need to wear gloves when working with it? You don't need to worry about the juices going through
Other than it just stains like crazy on this table. It's very, very. Yeah, no, you don't have to work. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't like put my hands in it and get it all in because it goes through your skin. But yeah, if you just get a little bit on you, it's not going to hurt you. And so we cook the heck out of them first. We cook them down for at least an hour. And sometimes a little more, but you know, when you're making small batches for yourself, it's a lot easier. You're making them like steep them or low boil for an hour. Yeah,
and just the berry.
just the berry. And so, if you pick them fresh, you want to let them sit for a couple days, or you know, so they're not. Well, if it's not raining, it's okay. But I made my first batch with fresh. And so what we have to do to the berry to be able to use that medicine is we have to mix it with other things. So the first thing we mix it with is ginger root, because ginger is so good for your digestive tract. just really, if you ever try to have elderberry syrup, like I had a girlfriend, I said she was sick all the time. I said, you got to get some elderberry syrup. So she did it. She said, it upset my stomach so bad. And I said, was there ginger in it? Got it, no ginger. That's why. Got to have the ginger in there. And then another thing about elderberry syrup is it molds really fast. Really, really fast. You've got to keep it in the refrigerator. So what we added to it was rose hips. Where's the rose hip lady? Oh, she's over there. She'll be her. We added rose hips to it because it adds vitamin C, even boosts the antioxidant properties even more, and it adds that ascorbic acid, so it won't mold as quickly. Now, when mine gets moldy, I just scoop the little molds out. It's these little white ones. It's not black mold or anything, but it's these little white molds, and I just scoop it out. And then, see, so I used trial and error like my ancestors. Nobody told me to add vitamin C to it. And I was like, can't add vitamin E, that's what we put in oils to preserve. And use something water-based. Ooh, C would be perfect. So I got some rose hips. Yeah, so we added rose hips to it. And then I thought, well, I want to double check, so I'm going to Google it and make sure that, I'm not combining something that's not good, because elderberries are, you got to be careful with something that potent. And so, you can't just eat them. I told you, you can't just eat them.
Only the wild rose?
Yeah, wild rose.
So it's not be that good for soup?
It's good for children, but small quantities, body size. Like my staff, Sean, she's not here. She has 2 boys. And I said, you've got to start giving them a little bit of elderberry, but water it down just a little bit. And the best time to take it is first thing in the morning. You get full absorption. Okay. So I do a little morning drink. I call it, I'm having my morning cocktail. And I put all my berries and stuff in there, and it's antioxidant. And it just, you can feel it going into your bloodstream. It feels so good. It just kind of works you all over, and it keeps you really strong, really strong. So you cook that down, and then you want it to cool down a little bit before you add the honey to it, because honey doesn't like to be too hot, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to strain this off, add the honey. Oh, I cooked it with lots of ginger root, and I also added some cinnamon and cloves. You can add whole ones, but I just had ground, and I had a big cabin, so I just put it in there. And, yeah, it makes it smell a lot better when you're cooking it too. The smell of it is not that lovely, and it takes up your whole house. Okay, so what we're going to do now is strain this down, strain this out, add the honey, and then we're going to pour it into the jars, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Okay? So, what's important is to get your ratios right. Yeah?
So what's your ratio for the elderberries? How much elderberries do you have in there?
I did figure it out.
Good question.
Oh.
It was hilarious. It was I worked it all out, and I was like, okay, Susan, you can do algebra. You can do algebra. You can do this. So I figured it out, and what the ratio is 1 portion to 5.25 water. So if you're going to use a cup, you're going to use 5 1/4 cups. If you're going to do 2 cups, it depends on if you're going to make it for people. I usually make a batch and I make it for people. I put it in a good mason jar. That color looks good. Because if it gets sun or anything, it'll mold even faster. So you want to keep it in the fridge. Even with the vitamin C, it will only last. Well, I don't know. I haven't tried it with the vitamin C yet, so I don't know how long it'll last. But mine, when I made it without the vitamin C, it got moldy in about 2 months.
So you see the mold when you pour it in the spoon or pour it in a shot glass, how do you take it? You said you saw
Oh,
little
yeah,
white
1 tablespoon.
like white spores.
Oh, yeah.
So it's when you pour it out, you see it.
No, you can see it sitting in there. It's on the top.
When it's in a dark bottle, you can still see it.
You'll see it. Yeah, just look down in there. You'll see it. I don't think you'll get it.
But how long
brown
in the
or
fridge?
Huh?
If you put it in the fridge, how long will it still get moldy?
I don't think it will with the rose hips, but it doesn't have a long shelf life, so don't make big batches of it, right? Unless you're going to do a workshop and give it out to people. No.
Can you freeze the elderberry or do you buy it
Yes,
dry?
you can get it frozen. I freeze fresh. When I go gather, I freeze them in mason jars.
So we'll change the.
Nope. And then, you can add it. Elderberries have to be cooked, but you can add frozen elderberries to things too. But that's actually like if you're making muffins, super strong, powerful antioxidant muffins. But you gotta put some sugar or some honey in there because they're really
And again,
strong.
know how much to put in there.
How much? Yeah, not very much. And yeah, to be on the safe side of plants, more is not better, less is better. Less is better. Because your body needs to get to know that plant too. So you start out in small quantities, not big and go down. Small, and if you don't really feel anything, maybe increase it a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So who wants to go?
It's good for a cough, what I always.
Yeah, it's really, really good for a cough. If you take this when you have a cough or a cold, it'll make your cold go away faster. But don't do it like every 15 minutes. You've got to give it time to absorb and get into your bloodstream and into your body. So like maybe 2-3 hours if you're really sick, coughing up. But I take it every morning and I don't get sick because I have such high antioxidants in my system.
It's great for the immune system.
Oh, it boosts your immune system. Yeah. And let me see what else. You got a question?
What was that last comment?
Your immune system?
Oh, okay.
If you have, I have low immune system, so I do every morning also elderberry syrup. I just pour a little bit in a glass, and I just drink a coffee and do it that way. But I've been eating it. My grandmother used to make an elderberry pie.
What?
Elderberry pie.
Oh, okay. I've heard of elderberry wine too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she did that too.
I think it was fermented probably too. It's easier to digest. It takes
But now that they add the rose hips and things, that's something we didn't do 60 years ago.
Yeah.
Where does it, I don't know if I know what it looks like, so what kind of area would it grow in?
It's a
Does it
small
grow in
tree or a
moss?
big bush.
Yeah, I got one on the till thing, but it's just a bush. I mean, it's not even a bush, it's just but does it have a certain kind of area it might grow in more, like in the woods or in the...
The ones I've seen kind of grow, anywhere. I've seen them in sunny areas. I've seen them under trees. I've seen them on the west side of the house. I didn't ask the people. There was a huge windstorm. I said, "Oh, check out those elderberry." And guess what? The wind had taken that whole bush with all the berries, and it was just laying right there on the sidewalk. And I said, "Thank you." And I scooped it up, and I went home and harvested those berries. But I could tell from the people's yard, they didn't even know what it was. They were harvesting teeny tiny berries, and they're like a shoot, like that. Yeah, they're like a shoot. They come down like that, and they have all the little berries, and then it's a blossom, and then it turns black.
The strands would look like this from the middle, and it's like this pancake on top of little white berry blossoms which turn into berries. But here I see they're a little bit different.
Yeah, they go like that. But when they blossom, they're like that.
Right, and then they
have
go
these berries, they look like that. And they look kind of like that when they go down.
If you can the spring by the blossom, then you know when they ripen,
And the
to go
blossoms
back.
white, or like,
What I would do is Google black elderberry, and then you can blow up the picture.
Yeah,
So
that's what
because
I
the leaves, that's the thing about plants, is that even people that study plants a lot, it's hard to tell them if they don't have a blossom or, you know, some kind of defining trait, because a lot of the leaves are so similar, and so there's so much to learn about plants. It's like bodies, right? Plant bodies. There's so much to learn about them. And like a plum, an Indian plum leaf looks very similar to an elderberry leaf, right? And they're both a big bush. Their blossoms are totally different. And their leaves are different if you get close up and you know what you're looking for. So that's what I do, is I blow it up. Now I know what they look like, but if I don't know what we did before Google. You gotta find somebody. You gotta find your grandma who knows about them. Huh?
I didn't know that.
A lot of people ask, and they say, what are you talking about?
Well, I know elderberry, but I didn't know that.
I knew what it was, but I don't know what it
And,
is.
you know, later on this spring, we also take care of the native plant garden right out here behind this building. And it was planted by Joyce Mastenbrook, who's a wonderful, wonderful, she's a PhD botanist who specializes in huckleberry. And she planted that garden, and we fiscally sponsored, that's one of the things Illahee does, is we fiscally sponsored a grant from the Seattle Department of Neighborhoods to spruce up that garden and put the Lachute seed and the Latin name and the common name on there, and made a little kiosk and made up these brochures with a map of the garden and what all the plants are. And so our Native Girls Code club, we have a club for Native high school girls, middle and high school girls.
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
My daughter Chicken Evie's here. She belongs to
Is in the club.
That's a great time.
Yeah. We're going to be working in that garden and doing some sprucing up, because I don't know about all the plants in there. Some of them I know a lot about, and other plants I don't know very much about. But I walk through that garden with Joyce once in a while, and it's just lovely. We'll just have a nice little conversation. And what I found out about the mountain trailing blackberry is that it's a male, and she didn't plant a female with that male. And that male is going all through that garden looking for his. And he is diligent about it. He's looking every square inch of that garden. And there's a reason that the immigrants called it the devil's shoelace. Because it just goes everywhere. And after I found out what it is, it's the male looking for the female. Yeah, so sorry, buddy. Maybe we're gonna cut you way back, and then maybe we'll find you a wife. I don't know. I don't know how you tell blackberry bushes apart, but we'll find out. We'll get this. We'll have to find a PhD botanist. This female mountain trailing blackberry, and then he'll stop going all over, because man, they're to get out. They just are like sticky and they get all in everything. He's everywhere. Anyway, sorry, buddy, but your days are numbered. Your snagging days have been cut short. Okay, let's do this thing. Okay, we've got to straighten this out. So, and then we've got to measure. Maybe we should do it this way. And then we'll measure, we're going to do, what did we say we're going to do? 3 times, so 3 cups, 3.5 cups to 1 cup of honey. You don't want it, yeah, it's about 3 to 1 on the elderberry juice, we call it, put it down.
3 cups of berry, 1 cup of honey.
It's about that. This one says 3.5 to 1 cup of honey. And the ginger root and the spices are already in it, and the vitamin C is already in it, so we just have to add the honey. Okay. Temperature. It's not steaming, just a little bit. Is that yours? I'll grab it so I don't make big mess. When I get these, they're just like a big mess. Okay, so you can see the ginger root. Y'all want to come up? You can see the ginger root floating around in there.
Smell it.
Yeah, you can smell it too. Thank you. And most of the berries are in the big one. Here's the ginger root.
Sounds a little bit like valerian.
It does, I was just thinking the same thing.
Wow.
I was thinking, are there berries in there?
No, the berries I made in the big one. I made them in the big pot, the enamel pot, that one over there, but I couldn't carry it this morning. It was too heavy. Yeah, that one's full. Still out in there. Maybe. Could be the same family. Am I spilling it? Oh well. That's why I wore dark colors today. That's why I have dark rags. Okay, so in here, somebody want to measure 9 cups?
I want to cups in front of you. I want to take a picture.
Actually, is that, no, that's not right. It's 10.5 cups, and that's 2. Okay. Yeah, you want to hold that and I'll pour this? Okay, there's 2. More. 6.
Oh, that's really good.
Just a little bit. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then we need 3 cups of honey, right? Okay, so what's in here? Probably so. That's what I got. So you don't have any of the berries. Look at what they look like. This is all. There's berries in the bottom of that. Oh, I bought these dried. The fresh ones I already used up. I bought these dried. Where do you buy it? Dandelion herbs or rainbow, she said, or the herbalist store.
When I've seen them dried, they're
There's
just
several
like
herb shops in
black
Seattle.
or
There's one
purplish
over
and like shriveled up.
at Pike Place Market. I think the people are really good there.
When do you harvest them fresh? When do you harvest them fresh?
At the end of the summer, when they turn dark. Yeah.
So this is 4 cups about, because that's a quart.
That is 8. How many times? 8 ounces. So that's 6 cups. I don't want to just like me. You want to get that all. Okay, you want to stir?
Oh, that's when you stick it.
Oh, well, they used to have it, you used to have to know that in school.
So you smell the difference in it. Smells different already.
I know, huh? Yeah. Okay, now.
Yeah, some time ago I read about elderberry and honey curing ulcers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of our plants, they're so dense. They're like multifaceted plants.
Okay, the thickness is starting to feel like it's.
Okay.
Have you found any difference in the consistency between a fresh berry and the dried berry?
I see a lamb. What did they call it? Lamb camphor.
Okay, so we have 14 people, right?
Was that whole jar pretty much solved?
No, half. Okay, so let's squeeze this over a little bit. Can you move that over so we don't make a big old mess? Okay, so now.
This thing.
Yep. Keep it out of there. That's right here. More. Keep going. Not all the way to the top, but almost. Okay. All right. Here's our first one. Yay! Oh, who's making labels? Somebody want to make labels? Bridget might have them, or they were in that little brown bag. Oh, a little bit too much.
Danger.
I should be measuring half the cup, right?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, that'd be smart. We could do that. You gotta go? Okay, everybody, Susan has to go.
Yeah, I have to go. I have to go work at the house at the tower. So, but I'm really glad everybody was able to come and hope you enjoy it. And super excited for you guys.
Are you Susan? Is she Susan?
She's Susan Welch.
Okay, so what are you the ones that I talked to on the phone from BC?
American events and news on
Yes.
Facebook. So you can share your links or any of your
Yeah,
events
we're a
on
little
there.
late.
They'll go to thousands of people all over the United States. And just put your link to share to Facebook. All that stuff. Yeah. And then when they, oh, I should write my notes. Thank you.
It's a little more than half a cup.
No, that's 2 cups. That's because that's 2 cups.
Well, I was watching that. See, it's down to quarter.
No, that's 1.